Hey everyone, Zero here, and Stride's been out for a while now, so I wanted to talk about what's going to come, or what I want to come in the next update, which is going to be the first major update, because we're all very used to the game now, and after this update it's probably going to be the biggest gap in the game's lifespan so far, and there's still a few things with the game which I think a lot of people want fixed, some things that I particularly want fixed, gameplay things, and also otherwise. The first thing to talk about that I want to see in this update, this is my wish list, is the lobbies. Obviously, everyone wants these fixed. This is going to be fast because I'm using Totsugeki, but even so, with Totsugeki and making things fast, you get way less gameplay in this game, I feel, compared to like any other game. The delay between when you open the game to like actually getting into your first match is huge, and the delay between sets, it really makes me play less of this game than I would otherwise, just because it's like, if I've got an hour to play, I feel like I get half as much actual gameplay in this game as I would any other competitive game, or just even other fighting games. Like something like Street Fighter is just so much easier to just get into a match. The next thing I want to see is I wanted to make a statement on crossplay one way or the other. I know there's not crossplay coming in October, but it would still be nice if they made a decision, or if they just were open about what they're going to do with crossplay, because at the moment we're kind of in limbo. We still haven't really decided on a platform for this game competitively. And obviously the official events at PlayStation, the community events at PC, they just need to make a decision about whether or not they're doing crossplay and be open with it. Alright, now onto some actual gameplay things. Firstly, I think they should reduce the damage by about 10% across the board. I think, obviously the high damage in this game is a deliberate design decision. They want the game to be fast-paced, they want it to be explosive, so removing it too much, like getting rid of the damage a huge amount to make it like other games or to Guilty Gear games or something more like Street Fighter damage or something would be way too, like, that would just be way too much. I think it would kind of hurt the identity of the game. So I think 10% is a good amount, where like you'll probably get like one extra interaction a round, which I think it would be good to make it feel less volatile but still keep what they're going for with the whole like fast-paced explosive. The next thing is also gameplay related. This is something they mentioned they were going to do. They were going to look at projectiles because people aren't using them enough. They want them to be better. So one thing with projectiles I think they might change, and I think would be a good change to get people to use them more, would just be to kill the counter hit recovery. So currently every projectile in this game, even after the projectile's out, it's still counter hit recovery. That combined with like the high damage in this game, it means that like every time you hit someone who after they throw out a projectile, it's so much damage. It makes it like, you never want to throw out a projectile in this game unless they're at a range where they literally can't get to you even if they read, because the risk reward is so bad. You throw out that, and if they read it, they jump over and air dash, and they can get a counter hit combo, and you just take so much damage. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know why I picked Kai here, but I was playing Kai. The next thing I wanted to talk about is I want there to be more options in the neutral, which are less committal. At the moment, it feels like in the neutral, unless you've got RC to like mix up your movement and stuff, there's not really much you can do in the neutral that's not a hard commit. Like every time you make a decision in the neutral, you're committing to that decision, and if you guess wrong or they read it or something, you just take so much damage. And I think the game would be more interesting if there was just more options you could do in the neutral without fully committing to something. The neutral it would just make it more interesting. I think the easiest way to do this would be to make more movement options. If you make like the movement better, and especially air dashes maybe, but there's other ways to do it as well. Advancing moves and stuff that were safer would be better as well. Just something, because at the moment it feels like you don't really have any way to interact in the neutral in this game without hard committing or basically doing nothing unless you've got RC, which I know is kind of how the game's designed, but I think it would just be interesting, or more interesting, if they, if they didn't do that. Like if there was just more options in the neutral. I think that's quite a common thing that people want. I think a lot of people think this game's kind of like a guerrilla game. You just kind of run at each other, and that's partly because you just kind of have to. It's the only way to play the neutral. The next thing is a combo scaling specific thing. To do with Guard Crush. So Guard Crush is pretty obnoxious. Obviously, you can't get rid of Guard Crush because there are characters that are literally built around Guard Crush. And Potemkin, characters like that, they'd just be so bad if you got rid of it, and I don't think they should get rid of it. It's a big part of the game's design, and I just don't think they will. But I think it should have more combo scaling. I think at the moment, Guard Crush combos, they do too much damage considering how there's not really much interaction possible. So I think in exchange for them not really being able to be interacted, they should with. They should just do less damage. That's my thoughts. I know that obviously would be enough to characters like Potemkin. I think those characters that don't really need nerfs should be buffed in other ways to compensate. But it's clear God Crush is here to stay and they want it to be strong. Alright, back onto things which aren't strictly gameplay related now. So, I would like to see a roadmap released, where they're going to say what's coming, what modes they're planning. Obviously they've announced when the characters are coming out, roughly, but something which is going to say, like, is there going to be a, like, how long's the season going to last? What does the season mean? Does it being Season 1 mean that there isn't going to be any updates or major updates? Or are they going to do a seasonal thing between each season? Is there going to be a big update that's going to completely shake up the game, or is it just going to be, like, balance patches? This kind of thing I want them to say, because at the moment, well, they've been pretty good with being communicative, but it would be good if they just kept that up, basically. And a full roadmap would really make it clear going forward what we can expect to change and when. It's especially good for like community tournaments and stuff, because we don't want them to like drop a load of massive changes and we're not expecting it, and it happens like right before a community tournament or something, because we just don't know. So I think a good roadmap for that would be nice. There's also a lot of features like combo builder and stuff, and it would be really good to know when those are actually coming. The next thing, and this is a bit of a pipe dream, both of these last two things are a bit of a pipe dream. I'd like a ranking system within Celestial of some kind, and I don't mean like the level system or the like auras and stuff you've got right now, where it's just a function of how much you play. Like something that's win rate based and like actually a ranking system. Some kind of MMR number or something, even if it's just a number and it doesn't actually affect matchmaking. It just feel like at the moment there's such a huge real skill range within Celestial. You've got like people who'd be like platinum in Street Fighter to literally Evo winners. It's too much, and it makes it really hard to tell how much you're progressing. Obviously, a lot of people, myself included, like to go in tournaments and stuff to like get a better idea of how much we're progressing and how much we're getting better, but it should be something baked into the game. It's so ridiculous that you get to the top like 5% of the player base, or maybe even like 10%, and suddenly there is no skill-based matchmaking or skill rating at all. I think that needs to be something needs to be added there. My last one is I'd like there to be like an official competitive circuit. I mean, I don't think they're going to announce this. I think this is really unlikely, but you know, esports games in general, not just fighting games, the official tournaments are really the ones that push the game being big in a lot of cases. You know, think of that like the league have their own league, Dota has the international. It's like a big thing for fighting games, for esports games in general, but if the developer supports the game and they have their own like events that are big and a big part of the competitive scene, it's generally really good. And even in fighting games, you think about like Street Fighter 5 has Capcom Pro Tour, Tekken 7 has Tekken World Tour. Strive is all just like community leagues at the moment. It means there's no money in it, which means there's not many pro players, and it also means that like everything kind of feels disconnected. There's no like overarching league or anything. I think really they need to announce their own tournament series. I don't know whether or not they will, but like a league or something would be great. I think that's about everything I have to say about what I want in this update. I'm not expecting it to be a huge update, so I'm not expecting them to massively overhaul and change stuff. Obviously, it's been a bit of a short video, but that's what I want. A lot of that stuff is just more information and communication about the future. Yeah, I do think Strive's in a really good place. I think compared to other FGC games, like, they're usually really rough launches, and this game's actually quite a good launch. So I don't think they need to do that much, but there's just a few small things. The game has a lot of untapped potential, and I do think it could be amazing if they really just put a little bit more work into things. And it's just the kind of, like, small things. Now we're getting out of the early stages of the game, and we're getting, like, properly into just the game. It's been out for a while. It'd be nice to have a lot of the stuff, especially to like the ranked kind of thing. So yeah, let me know what you want in this update in the comments below.